Hey, what's going on, everybody? It is Clownz with Four Guys with Quarters, and we're doing another fabulous episode. Probably
I heard that
episode
too.
35 by now.
Somebody owes me money right now.
And we
I
are,
heard.
we are ranked number 93 in Canada. We made the
Top
top
100.
100 video game podcasts according to Pod Status. So, and we're also moving up in India and Pakistan, which I'm very surprised because they're not huge Xbox markets. But hey, it is what it is. But today we have a fantastic, fabulous, amazing, magical panel. Everybody. Magical panel. And let me go ahead and introduce the guest first. Without further ado, you know this man who's been on this podcast before. His dream came true when he talked to Master Chief himself. It's
Dude, I wasn't even going to bring that up.
Xbot 448. What's going on, buddy?
What's up, brother? What is up, panel? What is going on, chat? Oh, man. Oh, you got music going? Got mute. Okay. Yo, what is going on, everybody? It is great to be back here at Four Guys with Quarters. I just want to let everybody know, Clownz always, he always kind of intros me first, and the reason why is he knows I will not shut up. Okay, like even while he was coming in and he was going live, yeah, there I was just talking over him and everything like that, putting in my comments. So that is, guys, that is why I want the panel to know that too. That's why he introduces me first. He figures he might quiet me down for a couple minutes if I can get a bunch of words in the beginning. But it's really great to be here, and I can't wait to talk about Alanah Pearce. Why though?
Well, it's a hot topic right now, Xbot. You know, it's the internet, and the internet likes things that we might not agree with, and Canada agrees with this because we're number 93 in Canada. So,
shout out to Canada. Sorry.
And isn't she
Moving
from
on.
Canada? I think she is from Canada, right?
And Australia.
She's from Australia, dude.
Oh, it's close enough. I mean, it's not that far.
Close enough.
It's very close.
Close enough, yeah, farther away.
I'm done.
One's
quite a
cold,
long ways
one's
away.
warm. Which way you go, it's up to you. It's, South Canada, maybe. Good.
Yo, shout out to Canada. I love Canadian bacon. You guys rock. Sorry.
And we also have the magical, mystical assassin Lupa, who's been in many chats on many podcasts, hanging out in the chat rooms, keeping everything under control, and wrecking Flamish on Wreckfest, no matter what vehicle he is driving. What's up, assassin Lupa?
I'm good, thank you, Clownz. Happy to be invited. Loving to have a chat.
Absolutely. I can't wait to get into some of these topics with you. And as Xbot alluded to, is very excited about Alanah Pearce going to Sony. So, next, we'll go to the man, the myth, the legend, the guy who knows everything in the video game industry. There's nothing that he does not know, no matter what he tells you. It's the one and only VJ, who probably drinks more tea than most of us in America. What's going on, buddy?
How you doing, Clownz? Yeah, it's really good to be back, and yeah, I'm going to try and make it my moral duty to speak my mind today, truthfully. And yeah, I've just been enjoying playing my Xbox Series X, so I'm sorry I was a bit late to the show. And I think it's my second show in as many weeks with Assassin Lupa, so that's an auspicious sign there for you. So yeah, looking forward to getting on with it.
Awesome. Well, I'm definitely glad to hear that. You already got 5 gold stars, BJ. You're moving up to gold star rank there. And welcome to the panel. He's returned again, and he's a new member. It is Mav, aka Fun Speculation, who's been rocking out hard, doing game streams, hanging out with his wife on his podcast, and everything is going good. What's up, Mav?
What's up, everybody? Thanks again for being here. Excited about all we got to talk about. Some interesting things that I see on this list. So it's going to be a great time. Excited to have Xbot, meet him for the first time on communication, at least. I've been chatting with him in his chats for a while now.
We type to each other a lot, man.
Yes. But it's new now. I get to actually speak to you. And Lupa, we hung out last night, playing some Master Chief Collection. We're going to be doing that again tonight, so it should be a great time. So thanks for everybody for being here.
Awesome. Well, it's always awesome to have you on the panel, man. You always bring great points of view on everything. And, like I said, you are a natural podcaster, and I'm seeing you grow and grow, and that is awesome. And, the sky's not even the limit for you, brother. You're going to keep going higher than that.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that.
Check this out. He is showering you with compliments.
I know.
And that's basically a podcaster's way of saying you will never get paid for being on this show. I just want to let you know that I do that to the next podcast panel all the time, man. That's what I'm like. Yo, you get compliments. That's your paycheck throughout the week. Yeah.
I just feel lucky to be included in this amazing group of people, whether I make a quarter or I don't.
Oh, dude,
Xbox
talk like that. You're gonna be a guest on next podcast at some point, man.
Bring it.
What? He hasn't been a guest
Nice.
yet? Xbot, fix that right now.
It's on my bucket list.
Absolutely. And also, we have the amazing, and I'm always going to say this, Midway. You know what I'm about to say, right? Can you guess?
Yeah.
What am I going to say?
Hulk.
It is the one and only Hulk of Chicago, Illinois. What's going on, brother?
What's up, everyone? Glad to be back on the podcast with the one and only Xbot 448. Mav,
Dude,
fun
you just
speculation. Hey,
all
this is my intro. This is my intro, man.
I'm sorry.
Man, you went first. All right, so now you got me all messed up, man. Thanks. VJ, where have you been, man? I missed you so much.
I'm here, sir.
Assassin Lupa, Retro Renegades. It was nice being on you that one podcast. Glad to be on you with another one. And let's get these topics going.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I mean, there's quite a few topics, right? I mean, I wouldn't say there's a lot of topics, but there's some interesting ones. And thank you for subscribing, Michael Brown, or Mikhail Brown.
Michael Brown, woo!
I appreciate
Mikhail.
that. Yep. Thank you.
Sounds Russian.
It does, doesn't it? Well, we are streaming in Russia. Hold on, let me see.
Shout out to all the people in Nepal that are tuning in right now as well.
Yep.
Singapore.
We're on Viklay.com in Russia, and we're on goodgame.ru in Russia. We got one viewer on goodgame.ru, so I have no clue what they would be saying, but hopefully it comes through the chat.
One is better than zero.
Yeah. Didn't you speak a little bit of Russian, right, Midway?
No, heck no. I know like 3 words.
Do you know how to say hello?
No.
I know swears in Italian. Should I start going off right now?
No, that might make them angry.
Okay.
I know yes, no, and goodbye. And I think a salute. I think it's a salute. Nastroyev? I think it's a salute. Like a toast.
Okay. I mean, well, that works, I do sometimes, when I'm in a Russian restaurant, I do burp when I eat as a compliment. I believe that it's still a compliment. I hope so for this generation. Otherwise, I may have upset some people. But I mean, there's been a lot of talk about the next gen that is currently now here. And everybody is so excited for next gen, what I call is now gen. And some of us have been lucky to get it. Some of us have yet to get it. But let's all be frank here. There was a huge mishap with Sony's firmware on the PS5 on launch. I believe about 10 journalists had their consoles bricked after a database rebuild. There's others that rebuilt their databases and they're able to go ahead and resume playing games and then rebuilding again. I know, shout out to King from Iron Lord's podcast. He had to rebuild his database after playing Miles Morales. And thank you very much for that super chat, Stephanie. It's always appreciated. We love you very much, and thank you for that. And always feel free to ask any questions or anything that you want to know when you post that. If Flamish is in the chat, he's obligated to answer all questions, no matter what they are. Thank you, Flamish. So,
Oh, God.
Yeah, so I mean, this firmware has been bricking consoles, and now there's like been an update. So it's Sony. They're gonna get a pass, I think. I don't think it's been gonna be talked about like the Red Ring of Death was talked about forever for the 360. It is what it is.
Well,
I have a PS5 sitting right here that I'm afraid to take out of the box because I don't want it to brick. So I'm willing to sell that on eBay. Not for a high profit, just a little bit of a profit, just so I can get more Series X stuff. So if you are on eBay, buy all the PS5 consoles on there, and that way I don't have to worry about mine bricking, and you'd have mine as well. So thank you very much to all you eBay shoppers. But Xbot, you are a special guest as well, and I know that you are neutral when it comes to game, and your preference is
King
Xbox.
Neutral.
Yeah, you are the game neutral. Xbox is your preference, but you are fair. You appreciate gaming in general. So, what do you think about Sony's issue with the firmware?
Well, first off, from what I've seen, it's more than just firmware. I've seen videos where like there are like these circles popping in and out of it was Assassin's Creed Valhalla, Spider-Man. There's been graphical kind of like issues with that. People are starting to point to the GPU and how it's overclocked and the way that it's overclocked as one of the reasons why things like that have been going on. When it comes to the the actual kind of like rebuilding the database, all that good stuff. I literally said this can probably be fixed with a firmware update, right? My whole thing is that Sony hasn't really come out and said anything. They just kind of put the they're just kind of putting the updates out there. I haven't seen them now. Clownz, correct me if I'm wrong. Have they like addressed this issue at all to the fan base, like out on social media or anything like that? Yeah, we understand that they're having problems. We're working on a fix or something like that. Because from what I've seen, they're just kind of like throwing out updates and trying to fix it, kind of like like how you sweep stuff under a rug. You know what I'm saying? You don't want people to know that you just kind of throw it under the rug real quick and you just kind of fix it as fast as possible. Clownz, has PlayStation come out and like address this verbally at all?
No, not that I've seen.
Okay.
Like you said, it's just pushing out firmware updates is all I noticed so far.
Yeah.
And I checked N4G, I checked Game On Daily, I checked other news aggregation sites just to see, and that's all it is, firmware update talk.
I got you. Like there are a few things with how they designed the PS5 to run and how they designed kind of like the cooling system. It's not the typical way, when the chips get hot, it goes in and that cooling system kicks in. They're doing a different process on it. That has me concerned. Now, I know they have to go through a bunch of testing before they put these consoles out into the consumer's hands and such, but even with this firmware update, it's a little concerning. It's a little like old school Sony with them not coming out and saying, all right, guys, we understand there is an issue and we are working on that. But they're just kind of like, we're just trying to push out firmware updates to get this thing kind of like fixed. It kind of reminds me of that old school Sony, like, back there in like the PS3 era. And I know that was a while ago, but when they didn't tell anybody that, their PlayStation Network was hacked for like a week and a half or so. Like, they don't really want to say anything up front. They'll just try to stay behind closed doors and fix it. I don't like companies like that, man. I like when you're straight, you're upfront about it, and you say, hey, we are working on a solution. So it's one of the things that gets me. Like, I really don't trust Sony and PlayStation because of their track record, whether it's customer service and people asking for their money back and stuff, and all of a sudden their account getting kind of like banned from PlayStation Network, stuff like that. There's certain practices that Sony has that really makes me not trust them to consider them like first and foremost, to only have like a PlayStation first and foremost over any other console. It has a lot to do with how they treat their customers and things like this, where they don't say anything. It really keeps me like that. That is the way that Sony does things, and I don't like it, man.
Yeah, I feel you on that. Like I just feel like that sometimes when They push out updates. They don't exactly explain what they are. They're just rushing to get them out there. And most of the time, it's because they don't want their systems being exploited. But this time, it's obvious it's trying to fix whatever issues are going on with the PS5.
Well, real quick, Clownz, when it comes down to it, there's nothing wrong with them coming out and saying something right now. This is the start of a brand new generation. All their pre-orders, people who have pre-ordered stuff like that, they're going to sell their systems with the numbers that they see on their computers with their pre-orders, all that good stuff. There is nothing wrong with saying, yes, there is an issue here, and we are working on that. We are going in for firmware updates, and we are going to get this kind of like smoothed out and resolved, because it's not going to hurt their sales or anything like that on the business side of things. And to me, it shows good customer service. It shows kind of like dedication to their consumer base if they come out and say something about it and let people know that there is an issue, but they are working on it. That's it.
Well, you know what they're actually going to say when they do come out and say something. Bug Snacks is free with PS Plus. I mean, they're going to divert you with that. Yeah, they're going to want you to play some Bug Snacks.
Game of the year, bro.
Yeah, I think somebody already said it's their Game of the Year.
K-Mega. I know K-Mega's hyped for that game. Yo, shout out to K-Mega.
K-Mega, I hope you're kidding. No, I hope you're kidding, buddy.
I said it would be Game of the Year. The last podcast I was on.
Did you, Lupa?
Oh, nice.
Were you
He's
seriously
like, are you
think it's gonna be Game of the Year? Like, because you don't.
Wow, have you seen it? It's amazing.
I sense sarcasm.
That British sarcasm.
That was a little thick right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that. I can speak British, Lupa. Bloody right.
It's got an 80% on Metacritic.
Yeah. See?
Clownz that.
Game of the Year coming.
Meta who? What are you talking about?
I've never looked at Metacritic score in my life. Play a game, find out what it's like. Don't bullshit with scores.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, there's stuff that I like that's just terrible. But don't worry, I don't like Dear God and I don't like Chariot. Those are two games I do not like, so don't worry about that. Lupa, what's your opinion on this PS5 fiasco and the firmware issues that they launched with?
Well, they're obviously trying to cover some up. They always are. They lie. They lied from the start. There's no we support generations.
Well, it is with their controller.
Well, yeah, okay. I'm not doing no blowing for nobody. Anyway.
Whoa.
You hear that, Kat? You hear that?
Somebody needs to give me a reason to buy a PS5, and I've found nobody yet that has done so.
But
because the PS4 plays everything. Now even God of War 2 is going to be on the PS4.
RDNA 3. RDNA 3?
What?
Oh, no.
RDNA 0.3, you mean?
She said 0.3. Oh, no.
Wow.
Clown, she's too quick for you, bro. She is too quick for you.
Yeah, she's good. Definitely good. So we definitely won't see her on Bug Snacks for sure. I don't think you don't have a PS5, do you, Lupa?
No, I don't, because nobody's given me a reason to buy one. I'm going to buy second-hand PS4 Pro when everybody starts selling theirs.
Nice.
That's actually a great plan. That's a great plan.
Daz in the chat says Dear God for life. I guess that's the first game he's going to play when he gets the Series X. Is Dear God. I wonder if it runs good on the Series X. I hope so.
Dear God is a highly demanding game. It is the game of the millennia. So I don't know how much better it can run. There is just so much dense content.
That Goat Simulator app does it by mail.
Oh no. There is Dear God is the game that everybody, like Sony Santa Monica, 343, Turn 10, they all look up to that game. Okay. All right. That's
yeah. I mean, with the resolution on Series X, though, you might be actually able to see the first mission, the glasses in the bushes. I don't know if you guys got that far, but that was like the first mission, find the old man's glasses.
Dude, I lost my character in the background of that thing. that game all the time. Like I tried playing it, dude, and I just lost my character constantly.
Well, that's all right, Xbot. I'll see you on Dear God. I'll be playing Soda Drinker Pro, bro. That's the game I'll be
Oh,
playing.
we got
Yeah,
co-stream, man. That
99,
would be amazing.
99 cents, easy to score achievements.
We would break the internet if we co-streamed Dear God and Soda Drinker Pro together, sir.
Yeah, I think so. You know, I really want to see Daz play Chariot for sure. If Daz plays Chariot, I'd be excited. I really would. But you know, Midway, I know that you know you're a super fan of the PlayStation there. What do you think about this the firmware issues on launch?
Uh, I have a PS4, but it's collecting dust. I mean, this is not a good look for them, obviously. I think the upclocking and the variable speeds of the GPU and CPU was a attempt to try to get as close to the 12 teraflops as they could, and it's kind of backfiring on them. And there's that article where Jim Ryan is not heard of any complaints about this. I mean, that's kind of like talk about being detached from your fan base and from your customers. Because I mean, the first day and a half on my Twitter feed, I'm getting nothing but problems, GPU problems, noise problems from the systems that everyone's showing. I mean, there's prominent YouTubers that are showing what's going on with their systems. You know, there's nothing wrong with coming out and saying that there is a problem. I mean, that could be a way to save face, because you just not saying anything kind of makes you feel kind of like emotionless and what's the word I'm looking for? Like you can't not feeling of your fan base and the people that have made you one of the best game companies in the business. So uh, they're pushing out these firmware updates. Good on them, but how many people are going to be like aware of something that's going on unless they don't have their system on Wi-Fi. I mean, did you hear all the things that they like couldn't do with their system that would be like commonplace? Like they can't even hook up their Ethernet into the system without it resetting on itself. I mean, it was crazy.
Wow.
But yeah, I mean, they just I've always been weary of the first ones that come out. Um, the launch lineup, the launch systems. So I've always been weary of that, because I always feel like that's like the guinea pigs of the generation, and then when when the next batch comes out, they'll be a little more sturdy and not having as much problems. So I mean, I feel sorry for the ones that have been having these problems. Hopefully, Sony's customer service will rectify the situation, not give everyone such a big hassle, and and good luck to them. I was gonna wait like 3 or 4 years to grab a PS5 anyway, because I only play for the exclusive anyway. So that's it.
We will pray for you guys if you have to call Sony's and PlayStation customer service. By the way, just letting you know, you are in my prayers. I am rooting for you.
They only speak Japanese, so good luck.
Well, I mean, technically, it's correct if you call Sony support in Japan. I mean, so you better hope that you're hitting the right options on their support line to get to the Sony Entertainment America. To talk about the PS5 here, the one issue I think people are going to run into is that they're going to get the console, whether they get it off eBay, off somebody selling it for a high price. I'm not doing that, by the way, guys. Not selling it for a high price. Or from a store, and then they dispute it with their credit card after they logged in with their account on the PS5, just because the PS5 broke or, you know, it became a brick. And then I could just see Sony saying, oh, your account was canceled. Well, why? Well, you disputed the charge and the price of the system, and it charged us back. So your account is terminated. Like, I could just picture that happening to people, right?
Well, dude, that's happened before. Like that, you know, we went through that throughout this entire generation where people, you know, when it came to refunds or you know, even like kids downloading things that they shouldn't have, where you know, you look at the other companies that have consoles and stuff, and there's usually no problem. You know what I'm saying? But with Sony, like we've gotten, at least this generation, we've gotten so many reports, uh, so many times people are like, yeah, like I basically got locked out of PlayStation Network because of what you just said, Clownz. And that's again, that's one of the reasons when I'm like, you know, people are championing PlayStation. And I'm like, well, you gotta look at their customer service as well. And if they want to treat people like crap like that, like I don't necessarily want to support a company like that.
Well, just to go back on what one of the things I was saying, remember when they were having the yield problems? What the one thing I said was, how does a hardware company have a problem with hardware?
Yeah, that I mean, that's a good question. And when it comes to like the yields for the you know, the system on a chip, right? That is the one thing that is so heavily scrutinized and so heavily kind of like looked over again and again and again, because you got, you know, there, it's coming from AMD, all that good stuff. So you have AMD kind of looking over the chips as they're being processed to make sure, you know, everything's straight, the dies are good, all that good stuff. Then, you know, they go over to PlayStation, and it's the heart and soul of the system. It's what makes, you know, the games run on the system. So you would think that there are even more parameters once it comes over to PlayStation, that they're checking everything out and making sure everything's you know, everything's smooth, like that, you know, the yields are good, and you know, they're putting out quality systems. Like and I'm not, where did the whole kind of like yield thing come from? Because I didn't see, like, I saw people talking about it on social media, but I never saw kind of like a source. Do you know where all that came from?
No, I honestly don't.
I believe it was you know, the quote unquote unnamed.
Oh, unnamed sources.
Yeah.
Insiders, you know, Twitter
But
insiders.
just, you know, I mean, not to make the guy feel relevant, but I mean, if that was said, and then you're seeing what's going on with GPUs and everything like that, you know, they probably had some sort of problem. Maybe not to the extent that they were saying, but I mean, on I don't know, like on Twitter, what's the ratio of people doing Xbox problems to PS5 problems?
Well, what the thing about it is, what we've been seeing on the Xbox side of things, people have tried to put out game glitches as being kind of like GPU and graphical problems. I'm like, no, dude, the character just he fell through a map. That's a game bug. That's a game glitch. All right, that's nothing to do with the graphics. The only other thing we've seen is the whole kind of like hard drive thing, the disk drive. And that could definitely be an issue. I think I made a video on my channel, shameless plug, on my channel last week, and I was like, the two things that I'm keeping an eye on are the graphical issues coming from the PS5, seeing like the background and stuff kind of flicker and stretch and stuff in games, in different games as well. On the PS5 side, I was like, that can be a very serious issue if it has something to do with the system on the chip, has something to do with the GPU, something to do with the die, the heart of the console. And I was like, on the Xbox side, the biggest thing I have a concern for is the disk drive. But the disk drive, disk drive sizes are universal, and they can just, either strike a deal with the company to do a different disk drive moving forward, because it's like Blu-ray, all that good stuff. It's pretty much a standard, or they can go with a different company to make the disk drives and still have, it's still being a universal size that fits into the Series X. So I think the disk drive is not as big of an issue as what I'm seeing graphically. The issues that I'm seeing with games on the PS5 right now.
How many disk drive problems have you seen, Bob?
I've seen quite a few videos. I have seen it to the point where, again, you got to remember Clownz, king neutral, all that good stuff. I try to keep things balanced to the point where, if I had to be concerned about anything with the Series X, that would be it. It would be the disk drive, which I feel wouldn't be as big of an issue as if there is something wrong with the dies and on the PS5, the GPU. If there is something mechanically wrong in the PS5, I feel like that's a way bigger issue than disk drives on the Series X.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm looking forward to PS5. Well, the Sony sorting out the problems just for the PS gamers. I feel sorry for them. I've also known that there's problems with a couple of Series X's that they've had to send them back and stuff, people. So,
Yeah, well,
but I haven't got a problem with anything.
Lupa, like when electronics come out, and even throughout the life cycle of electronics coming off an assembly line, there's a certain kind of like defect rate. There's a certain amount of systems that will come out, and they'll come out defective, and some of them will come out completely bricked right off the assembly line.
I said this on Flamish's podcast. The new people got to understand new tech. I worked in quality control, and new tech, as in new anything, is always going to have some problems along the line somewhere. And then in a few months, it'll all settle down and be sorted out. Yeah.
Unless there's a really big issue. You know what I'm saying? If there's something at the core of the system itself that they have to go back in and change, then
what you're trying to say is the PS5 is knackered already. That's
I'm trying to be very politically correct about it, man.
It's not possible. We can hear it in your voice.
Well, see, the thing, I'm concerned about it though. There's I'm at the yellow light. I'm not at the red light yet. I'm at the yellow light. It's like I'm looking at it like, and I feel bad for anybody who spent those hundreds of dollars for the console that they want to play on, and it's having these issues, But
I understand what Midway's saying. We haven't got percentage yet, but I actually have noticed more PS5 problems than I have Series X problems. But
or S for that matter.
What's true? What's true? Nobody knows what's true. That's the point. There's so much fake shit out there.
Yeah, that is
true. I mean.
Yeah, I want to comment on this, but I've been back here rebuilding my database for a while. So,
nice,
dude, you're not rebuilding your database. You're playing Tetris Effect Connected right now. Like you think you are, but every time you make a line, it disappears. You're never gonna build it up that way, man.
Yeah, I don't know what's wrong with me, but I'm at the last one, and every time that thing goes to 10, I just start spazzing me out. I'm like, no.
I think that the concern, right, is that it just seems we all expect that there's going to be issues when you get a brand new console. Every console that launches that I've gotten on launch, there's a level of just a little bit of worry. And like every time you turn it on, just is it going to turn on and all that? And then eventually that fades away after updates and all that kind of stuff. But it seems like on Xbox side, for the most part, it's been as usual. There has been some issues with some, but it hasn't been like an extreme amount. I do know a couple people where they have bricked consoles. But it seems like on PlayStation's side right now, it seems that it's beyond that normal, reasonable expectation of worry or concern. And it's with everyday functionality, not just one's getting bricked. It's just like things aren't working. It keeps resetting. Databases keep having to be rebuilt constantly. And it's all these different things triggering this stuff. You have the weird graphical glitches kind of going on with Assassin's Creed and then some of these games. So it seems kind of beyond that, like, hey, this is just a launch, guys. It's okay. And that also, I think, leads credibility to some of the reports that had been going on before the launches where people were raising red flags. And everybody's like, no, everything's going to be fine. Everything's going to be fine. Now we see all this stuff going on. And so, hey, maybe where there has been smoke, there is actually fire going on with some of these rumors that have been taking place for so long, you know? So we'll see what happens. I hope the firmware updates that keep coming out fix these issues. Maybe it is a blessing that my PS5 got canceled by Target and I didn't actually get it yet. That could be a truth also. So, but we'll see. Maybe the firmware updates will fix it. I hope it's not hardware related and can't be fixed with firmware updates. If it's firmware, everybody's going to be fine. They'll get it sorted out. If it's beyond that, Sony's going to be in trouble. You know, we'll see.
And by the way, guys, when he said, you know, where there's smoke, there might be fire. That is smoke and not vape, people. It is not vape. Vape is moisture. Smoke is something totally different. Okay.
Just put a no smoking sticker on your Series X and you'll be fine.
It's more than moisture.
Oh man. VJ, do you have any thoughts on this topic?
I was asked a question on a few podcasts a couple of months ago in regards to John Lennon, not John Lennon, he's passed away.
Wow.
John Linneman's tweet, one and the same, I suppose. And from what I was led to believe and understood at the time, both companies required more time in order to launch their relative hardware. We know that these hardware launches have been rushed just for various reasons I've covered on different podcasts. So I think Linneman was correct, and he's far more privy to information than we are, and that we're led to believe or come to know of. I've not read or heard anything about the specific issues or complaints, so I'm just purely sort of hypothetically speculating here based on what the rest of the panel have offered. I guess my initial chain of thought to some degree is in line with Xbot. Other than if these facts are in fact true and substantiated to a high degree, Sony should be emphatically providing a solution and an apology, even if they don't mean it, right? To a problem they have perhaps created, or anyone might go on to create in any endeavor, business or corporation, be it shipping electronics that potentially blow up. Samsung, I'm looking at you, recalling vehicles, or pharmaceutical companies that provide a double-edged sword, be it resolution or relief to pain, but it comes with a dozen side effects, right? It's not just this industry that's affected by things like this. I can't, at the end, also on the other side of the coin, I can't just accept things on promise or merit, sort of rules, regulations, rumors, news, and information, as they say, are for the guidance of the intelligence, right? And blind obedience for the idiots. I don't want to sort of further castigate Sony in this instance, meaning to sort of criticize or reprimand them severely. I probably just contradicted myself with everything I said beforehand. My point is, too many gamers are expressing an opinion or an option, which is fine, when they've not had the privilege of experiencing everything firsthand, of which they want to express an opinion for and about. So far too much judgment for judgment's sake, in my opinion. For the sake of PS5 owners, gamers, and especially for who playing games may be a family pastime. And I think Lupa just sort of touched on that out there, that are suffering from issues. I wish them a swift resolution. From a purely selfish point of view, I'm still keeping an eye on Cyberpunk 2077, and I hope that game, given the time that it's had, and it may require more, I don't know, is clear of all issues at launch. I wish CDPR all the luck they may or may not deserve. I say that since who am I to judge? Anyway, that's my thoughts on it.
Yeah, I mean those are some pretty good thoughts there. I saw jokes alluding to the liquid cooling in the PS3 or PS5 not working correctly, and that the GPUs were overclocked, and that's what Xbot was alluding to when you saw the graphical errors on Twitter. And to see some of that going on, it just means something's not right.
That they showed, Clownz, those issues that they showed, those, from what I know, and I've been on YouTube for a while, man, and I do kind of I dive into stuff that I don't know about when it comes to game development. If I don't know something, I will research it and stuff. One thing I will say, the issues that I saw graphically, with kind of everything kind of stretching and then coming back and flashing and then circles popping up on the screen and stuff, those are not game glitches. those seem to be on the hardware side of things from what I know. And again, I am not a professional. I am a YouTuber, but I am one of those YouTubers that likes to know what I am talking about when I'm talking about things to my subscriber base, to the people that actually, they spend time on my channel. I want to know what I'm talking about. And from what I've seen from that, nothing has showed me that those are game glitches. Those look like something on the hardware side. Now, hopefully there can be some type of software patch or something like that will really minimize those, moving forward. And if it is a big number, like V kind of, he kind of referenced back to me on it, but if there is a big number out there, like Sony needs to be out there, talking to their consumer base, letting them know what's going on and letting them know that they are working on a fix for this stuff.
Yeah, I have to agree with you. I think, they should just come out and say what the actual problems are. I mean, maybe to give them benefit of the doubt, maybe they're still investigating the differences between the issues with the firmware versus, the GPU issues. Maybe some units aren't cooling properly. But whatever it is, Sony should come out with a statement, because if this was Microsoft, they would have came out with a statement, because they would have been hammered by journalists nonstop about what was going on. Like you saw the vape thing took off on the Series X, and people all of a sudden thought the whole thing was smoking when people were just like putting vape into it. And Xbox came out with an answer for that. Don't blow vape into your Series X. But where's Sony's response on a console they sold to people, that they have a responsibility to their consumers to tell them exactly what they're investigating, what their plan is, how they're going to replace some of the units, how they're going to update their firmware in some of the units, and alluding to that, it kind of brings us into the next topic, which I think is extremely strange, guys. This is really strange. So, I hope everybody had a chance to read it. If not, I'll try to explain it. But basically, according to a post on N4G and confirmed on PlayStation.com, PS Plus is the only way to save your PS5 game save data. So in other words, it doesn't save on your internal, your save data. It doesn't save on your external, your save data. You have to have PS Plus for it to save, and it has to go into the cloud.
That can't be true.
Yeah, that would be crazy, man.
Hold on,
Did anybody watch?
Yeah.
Anybody watch ILP?
Is that a trick question?
I do watch it when I can. But
did you hear what happened to Cog?
Oh.
No, what happened?
He didn't move his saves to the PS Plus cloud.
Are you talking about for transferring his saves from PS4?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, that's different, right? That's like you having they don't have like a standardized cloud format like Xbox does, where it's automatically going to happen. You have to either set it for games specifically, or manually do it on PlayStation. And if you don't, then you lose those saves. Now, even on top of that, some games aren't compatible cross-gen with saves, even if you do move it. So regardless of, even if you do decide to go manually move that save, if you go play on the PS5, some of it is still not going to work. It's up to the developers individually to make those saves work on the PS5, as opposed to where on Xbox it just kind of happens, right? So that's the difference.
Oh, okay. Misunderstood.
Did you see Wilmy had packed in playing Watch Dogs because he lost 5 hours again?
Oh, I lost 8.
Yeah, I've had to replay so many games from scratch. When my house got hit by lightning a year ago, and all my saves on my PlayStation were just gone because my PlayStation was gone, and I didn't go and manually save saves to the cloud. So every game I had to basically start from scratch.
That
really sucked.
isn't it, Mav?
Yeah, it was lame. And then I think that's a generational thing from Xbox that we've all kind of taken for granted, that they don't get much credit for. Because I have Xboxes on multiple TVs in my house, and no matter where I'm playing, whether it's on PC, xCloud now, or on any of my TVs in my house, no matter where I'm at, I pick up where I left off. And that's just
that's
amazing.
So amazing, it is.
We're
Really
spoiled.
amazing. I love it. We are spoiled with that.
Well, there's
Because
something.
even when
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Lupa.
no, it's fine. Go on, Clownz.
No, I was just gonna go into the save data thing, right? So, PlayStation has very mixed messaging on this, right? So let me go ahead and read to you directly from PlayStation.com support hardware PS5 managed storage space. So the initial paragraph says game and save data as well as other data is stored on the built-in storage on your PS5 console. If you don't have room in your console storage, you can either delete data that's there or copy data to the following storage spaces: extended storage, cloud storage, or USB drive. Where you can copy data depends on its type. And then there's a drop-down menu that says types of PS5 storage and savable data, right? So type of data, game data, PS5 games, not to the extended storage, not to the cloud storage, not to the USB drive. Game data, PS4 games. Extended storage, yes. Cloud storage, no. USB storage, no. Save data, PS5 games. Extended storage, no. Cloud storage, yes. USB drive, no. Save data, PS4 games. Extended storage, no. Cloud storage, yes. USB drive, yes. Screenshots and video clips. Extended storage, no. Cloud storage, no. USB drive, yes, with the fine print of a check mark that you got to read like fine print. So there's like the paragraph contradicts itself, right? It says that you can save it to the PS5, but then if you click down the drop-down menu, it says save data PS5 games only in the cloud storage. Do you see the mixed message in there?
You know, my whole thing though is so many people have PS5s right now, and you know, I'm not sure if all of them have PlayStation Plus as well though. So if that were the case, there would be a huge outcry to a bunch of gamers, a bunch of consumers that bought a PS5. If they can't like save their games on the system like that, there's gotta.
If you look at it, you can see it goes console storage, or it's if you want to do the cloud, then you have to have PS Plus, but you can store it to console.
Okay,
but it's either but you cannot do external. You cannot save PS5 games to the external hard drive. So that's the downside.
Yeah, no.
We're on Xbox. Yeah. We can have them on the external after they've been upgraded and then move them back and forth. Right? Like you can't do that on the PlayStation 5. So the games that you install, either you move it to the cloud with PS Plus, or you basically you have to delete it and reinstall it and re-download it. Right? That's your options.
You know, one of the things when the previous generation started with PS4, Xbox One, when they first came out, when I heard that cloud storage was actually locked behind PlayStation Plus on the PS4, I automatically thought, I was like, man, that's really anti-consumer. You're gonna get your subscriptions for PlayStation Plus anyway. You know, when it comes to like the Call of Duties and stuff for multiplayer, like you're gonna get all that anyway. Like, why lock the cloud saves behind that? And I know Microsoft, they own their own Azure cloud system, you know, their whole infrastructure and such. But it's not like, to me, I don't think Sony made any extra money locking cloud saves behind PlayStation Plus. You know what I'm saying? I don't think there were people like, oh damn, like I really need cloud saves. Like I wasn't gonna play Call of Duty or Madden Online or anything like that, but damn, I got to get PlayStation Plus because I need my cloud saves. I don't think there are a lot of customers out there like that, and I feel like they should just make that an available option to anybody who has their PlayStations hooked up to the internet.
It could be a cost-saving measure for them to keep more people from doing it. Potentially, right? Like, because they're not having to store as many things on their servers. And whatnot.
Oh, that's a great point, bro. That is a great point, brother. I didn't even think of that.
Yeah, good one.
Does anyone else have any thoughts on this?
So what you're saying is then if I want to just play exclusives, I still have to sign up to PS Plus?
Well,
No.
apparently the messaging is really mixed and it's very confusing. Sony contradicts themselves in the support article, but it sounds like you don't, based on what Mav is saying.
Yeah, it's you can save your games to the internal, but you cannot move them to external drives.
Okay,
You can't hook up like a hard drive to your
my
PS5
big
and move
hard
your
drive.
game off. If it's a PS5 game, you can do that with PS4 games. But you can't do it with PS5 games, right? And then also, if you want to save your game data to a another source besides internal, you need PS Plus, and that'll do it to the cloud. But you have to manually set it, right? It doesn't happen automatically like on Xbox.
Oh right. See, I'd get right messed up. Me, I love that.
It's very confusing.
Well, Mav, I'm glad you were actually here to clarify that because the whole article and the whole help support page is kind of confusing, and
It is.
I just think that Sony's messaging in general has been
Well, their
very
messaging
confusing
this
lately.
whole lead up to next gen consoles is confusing. They aren't straight with anything, right? Like
No.
what? How do we even know? Like we all thought Spider-Man was exclusive to PS5 until right after their big reveal of the game, right? Like they're just like nothing's straightforward right now, and it's just creating confusion. But until people call it out, it's just going to be status quo. So we'll see.
I honestly think the way that PS has handled this next gen stuff has been really bad. They don't even tell their gamers anything, and you're at a loss as what's going on. I think they got really caught out. I don't know why, but I think they did.
It's a bunch of bollocks.
Is that proper
Pretty much.
British? Was that proper British?
No, not at all.
No.
Midway, you bloody wanker.
I think VJ wants to chime in on this.
I don't know everything, and even though Clownz sort of professes that I do, so don't believe him. And I'm happy to be sort of humbled in the face of new facts laid out in front of me. And if I'm inclined to do so, I'll check them out. So this is a sort of like an assortment off the cuff remarks from listening to people on the panel. There's just my ramblings, so I apologize to the panel and the chat and the post-show listeners in advance. If it's the same historic parameters of user sort of predicament status situation on the PS4, then I guess PS5 owners are fine with it. But according to Mav, I think that's not true. So that goes straight out of the window. If it's the sort of introduction of something new being slipped in under the radar, or an oversight, a bug, or an idiotic, ill-advised implementation of an idea, then I guess Sony will have to come out and explain why, or just remedy, track back on the situation. That would be the logical thing, but I understand this is Sony and how you guys feel about it. On one hand, I can understand a corporation such as Sony, Netflix, Amazon, Apple, Adobe, especially Adobe, and the impact that is having on independent developers with the prices that they charge, and Microsoft as well are in that, all wanting to at least maintain their subscribers, right? That's their sort of golden goose going forward. In Sony's case, I think they really they're wishing to sort of retain their 45 or 50 million PlayStation Plus members, or not in fact, increase the number of the subscribers through this specific method of sort of forcing you to become a PlayStation member. I think somebody on the panel said, look, if you want to play certain games, and most of the people that have probably already bought a PS5 have probably got PlayStation Plus memberships anyway. I don't see many PlayStation fans, or if any at all, being sort of overly concerned or upset, because if you're a little bit savvy, for as little as $30 a year via CD keys or several seasonal promotional activities, you can obtain 12 months of PlayStation Plus access. And in addition, you'll receive sort of 24 games, ranging between B and B grade or C grade and AAA titles. It's a for me, when I was using a PS4, and someone mentioned the previous topic about disk drives going, my disk drive went. So I was a little bit perturbed the fact that I can't actually trade it in because I have a broken PS4. So that's why I switched over to digital. I refused to buy any discs because every time I plugged a disc in, I was whacking the top of the PlayStation like 4 or 5 times before it would actually accept the thing. So for me, anyway, going back to PlayStation Plus, it's literally several $100s, if not $1,000 worth of games that I've missed out previously that I play. It's also, I want to look at Microsoft and Xbox. They've been more outspoken, they've been a lot more clearer, but they've also, for me, basically trying hard to make Xbox Live Gold and Game Pass console defunct, right? What good reason other than sort of forcing everyone to pay an additional $60 a year from more to experience and enjoy EA Play does Xbox have for omitting the option for Game Pass console only subscribers, right? I don't see that, right? Console Game Pass players invest and contribute $120, maybe not as much as $180, into the Game Pass initiative itself, which is funding games, right, and studios, etc. Why are they being left behind when Phil Spencer actually came out and said no one will be left behind? In this respect, gaming is a lot more accessible these days via Game Pass, I will admit that, which is far from being right now an all-encompassing and conquering gaming initiative, right, and a subscription service. But I know that obviously some of the topics that I've seen that are coming up later in the week are going to be addressing that. But the last point, just on Sony, as I said, they are looking to keep a hold of this current subscribers, and they know that Xbox are coming out a lot stronger than they were, and they were non-existent in the previous gen, right? And I think they want to go back at least to attain the heights that they achieved with Xbox 360. And I think Sony and Nintendo are inevitably going to come to a convergent point, with Xbox, where some of the business strategies in terms of subscriptions, models, offering content is going to come, as I said, to a convergent point where they all will become very, very similar. Whether that happens in 1 year, 2 years, 5 years, your guess is as good as mine. But anyway, that was my few points.
VJ, and
Good
dude,
take, man.
You said exactly what I have been saying for a couple years now, that there's going to be a point where I'm trying to tell people that these companies, when it comes to subscription services and such, this is their end goal. This is their end game. This is where they want to get to in terms of how to get their content out to people. Now, VJ, just Clownz and rest of the panel, real quick. Just a couple things I want to kind of address that VJ said. First off, when it comes to PlayStation Plus, I hear you on like the amount of games and how many games they give you and stuff like that. But to put cloud saves behind that paywall, right? I don't feel it's fair. No matter what they give you,
I've already said that.
Okay, all right, and then when it comes to Game Pass,
sorry, just to clarify, right? Okay. I said an introduction of something new being slipped in under the radar, or is either an oversight, a bug, or an idiotic, ill-advised implementation of an idea.
Damn, and I love the word idiotic. I should have heard that. Now,
and the reason why, sorry, just another point you raised, the reason why people don't understand why subscriptions, you have to explain why. Why? Because it is a sort of very easy, very predictable, especially for the financing side of it and predictability-wise, a revenue stream, which they don't have to worry about. All they have to worry about is maintaining the customer base, not acquiring one, which is far, far more difficult.
You know, and one thing I do want to say about Game Pass, because people have heard me on multiple shows on my own channel, I absolutely love Game Pass. I think it's a great value. One thing I will say, it is a Trojan horse, though. All right, for when it comes down to it, it is a Trojan horse. There are old school people that love their physical disc and owning their game like that, right? Which, you know, inherently, I think, you know, when it comes down to it, everybody should like that. But what they're doing is they're making that subscription so enticing, so incredible. Yep. You look at the games that are in Game Pass, and by the end of it, they're basically swinging the entire community into a subscription model is what they're doing. They're swinging everybody there where you're going to be paying subscriptions for to play games. And you know, down the road, that's going to be the only option. It is a Trojan horse. I don't want it, for the people that are like, oh, I see where I see the future in this and I don't like it. I understand exactly what you're saying.
It's you got to look at it from a different perspective. Yeah, you got to look at it from the point. I don't want to take up too much time, but basically, look, the reason is because if you look at Sony's business model and just spend some time looking at that, and you look at the subscription-based model, the Sony business model is riddled with risk. High risk, because we can choose not to go out and buy those games, and suddenly 3 billion, even if they sell 40 million units of their first party games in 2021 at $70 each, that's only 2.8 billion with 15 million subscribers. And that's maybe if they sell 10 million of each, and that's if they get $70 for each one. Otherwise, that could look like anything from 1.3 to 1.5 billion. Look at Microsoft's business model, 15 million subscribers, guaranteed $2.7 billion of revenue, come what may.
Yep, exactly, man. It is a constant revenue stream. It is something to easily, when you look at your books, it's something to easily estimate and stuff like that. And that's where these companies really do want to go.
Look, I don't know. Sorry, Clownz. I'm maybe a lot older than all of you, yeah. But gaming today is we have it really good. I remember the 90s when 32-bit and 128-bit gaming consoles could cost you anything between $250 and $500, and imported games will range anything between $30 to $50 for a Game Boy and a Game Gear game, $60 to $100 for a PC Engine, Mega Drive, and Super Nintendo Hue card or cartridge, and up to $300 for a Neo Geo cartridge. We've got it good.
Yeah,
definitely. I mean, I agree, VJ. I do, real quick on this topic that Xbot's probably heard me long time in the past even on the days of Console Corner. We'll go back that far. I said that we were going towards the digital future. I predicted Game Pass. I predicted subscription services. I mean, it's all the way back to since Console Corner, even before that. Probably 2014 to Four Guys with Quarters podcast, probably within the first 15 episodes, if you actually can go back and listen. And I've been saying that. I think it's going to happen. I think everything's going to go that way eventually. It's not going to be a forced push, but it's going to be a gradual push. And the reason for that is because game companies are marketing themselves towards a younger generation, and the younger generation loves instant on access streaming services. Mm-hmm. And we could talk about Spotify, we could talk about iTunes, we could talk about Netflix, Hulu, all these streaming apps. The younger generations love them. My daughter hates getting up to put a disc in the console. She's like, Dad, don't buy me any backpack compact discs or any sales at GameStop. If you're going to get me something, buy it on the dashboard. And I'm like, well, Black Ops 2 is on sale at GameStop right now. It's real cheap. It's like $10, I think it was at the time. And she's like, no, just pay the $60 on the dashboard because I don't want to have to get up and put the disc in. That's how much.
And I would tell her, yo, you know what? You buy the game yourself. Yeah, I'm done.
But
I tried.
Yeah, no, I get it. But I mean, that's how much of a difference it makes to this younger generation that they'd rather spend their paycheck and pay a higher price for a digital version just because they don't have to get up. And the fact that they can buy into a streaming service for $15, $20 a month of unlimited games or games coming in and out, they don't have to get up and put stuff in their console. They're going to do it because they don't have to worry about trade-ins anymore. These upcoming generations are not going to trade stuff in. They don't even want to get out of the house.
Clownz, that's the reason why Xbox and Microsoft really invested in xCloud as well. Is like they're transitioning because the wallet, the worldwide wallet is transitioning into the younger generation, and it's the generation that grew up fine with smaller screens, fine playing games on their mom's cell phone or iPad and stuff like that, and they grew up on those smaller screens and such. And Microsoft and Xbox know this. So when it comes to xCloud and streaming onto phones, old school gamers are like, why would I want Halo 5 on my phone? But that younger generation that's going to take over that wallet, it's going to be the main consumer. They have no problem playing those types of games on a smaller screen like their phone and stuff like that. And Microsoft, what Microsoft did with Xbox is they set them up for as that worldwide wallet, the consumer base transitions into that younger generation. The younger generation fuels the economy and stuff like that. They set themselves up perfectly for that generation to invest in Xbox. That's exactly what they did.
Well, also
Absolutely.
with this whole digital future and everything going digital, that's also one of the reasons Xbox is so invested on backwards compatibility, because it's not just backwards compatibility, it's forwards compatibility. And everything that you're buying, we can't sell to each other, we can't trade it with each other, right? It's part of your library, so you need to have faith that that is going to be there in the future and going to be better on whatever we're playing on, whether it's the Series Y or the Series Z or whatever the heck they come out with next. That's why they've been doing this, right? It's important.
That is a great point right there as well, man.
Yeah.
Hey, buddy, got any used digital codes?
Yeah, right.
Hey, Far Cry Classic is $2.99 on deals right now, guys. Just putting it out there. $2.99.
You know, Mab, that is definitely a great price, but something I'd like to let Xbot know is that golf with your friends is free on Game Pass, and we are your friends, and you should play golf with us.
When you want to do this, bro? I have it downloaded on my system.
Oh, we could do it anytime.
If I want to hit acorns, I'll go outside and hit them with a stick.
No, that's that's Flamish's rules. No, he plays with all those strange square objects in that game.
He plays Belgian golf.
Yes.
We want to play golf with your friends and have a laugh.
Yes. Yes, we were hitting square blocks that did not move last time we played with
Four acorns that went round in a circle.
Yes.
You can be an inch away from the hole and it just goes you hit it and it goes left. It goes right. It won't go in the freaking hole, man. I hate it.
So
Yes.
did I.
But we will play with a ball, and I will win, Xbot. I mean, that's how it's going to go.
You are predicting, huh?
What is this, Big Daddy?
That's why Game Pass is such a good thing as well, is the fact that it's pocket money, affordable for the youngsters.
Yep.
$15 or even $10 if they don't want it on PC.
I mean, that's like, it depends where you work, and especially in America. I mean, that's either like an hour and a half of your wage or an hour wage for younger people. So it's.
Well, no, I'm talking about the youngsters who get pocket money off their parents. I'm talking 10 to 18 or whatever. They get their allowance, as you call it, every week or every month. And it's affordable for them to get Game Pass and have 100 games rather than it is to buy one game that they've got to save up months for, which, as you said, children don't want to do.
Well, I think of it even more than that. For like, if you get a console for your family for Christmas for your kids, let's say you got 3 kids, you got $2.99 Series S. You get that as decently affordable for a family gift for Christmas, and then you don't have that boundary anymore of having to go buy a bunch of $60 games. You get a month trial for Game Pass for like $1, right? So automatically you plug that console in and you have over 100 games to play right away, and not crap games. It's not shovelware, as some people would like to say. It is high quality AAA games. You got indie games, you got family games, you got everything in there.
Yeah.
And it's such a good deal because it has something for everybody.
And games that you wouldn't have played.
Yeah.
Like golf
if they
with your
hadn't
friends.
been in there. Yeah. But like when my children were young, I had to buy 2 consoles and I had to buy them a game each for Christmas. Cost me a fortune.
Yeah.
And then they're not happy with just one game, so then they're arguing about swapping their games, and oh my god, it was a nightmare. I wish I had Game Pass when mine were young, that's for sure. It would have been so much easier.
Did y'all imagine if we had Game Pass when we were kids? I mean,
yeah. As long as
My
Mega Man
goodness.
was in it, I would have been happy.
Is Mega Man in Game Pass now? It could be. I almost think everything's in Game Pass.
I think it rotated in. Yeah, they had the Legacy Collection in there, and it rotated out, I believe. But yeah, I mean, I do want to get on to the next topic, which is a pretty big topic, I think. I think this is a huge topic, and people should be concerned.
Is it where I need to get my wig and do my 2.0 channel? Is that what we're...
No, you need to get your tinfoil hat.
Oh, okay. I'm already wearing that, though.
Okay, so you're safe. You're safe. Don't worry.
Okay.
Well, then get some tinfoil gloves. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, that's a good point.
I just thought about things you should not do with tinfoil gloves on.
So
I'll think about it. Yeah.
you guys, You guys remember? I mean, everybody in the Xbox community remembers this, right? Oh, Xbox, buy Capcom, buy Capcom. Hey, Xbox, buy Capcom.
Oh, Sega. No, not
I,
Capcom.
I,
Sega.
Xbox. Me and you were on the same side. Definitely Sega, because I like the Atlas side of that. But everybody else is like Capcom. Well, guys and girls, and fans of the community, and you and them and they and whoever, wherever, and all people in the human race. Guess what happened? Capcom got hacked. A massive data breach. They had to pay millions to get their computers unlocked. And I'm looking at the page where Capcom, their Japanese news site, but they put it in English. They talked about the information that they have verified that was compromised. And it includes personal information of former employees, names, signatures, passport information, names, addresses, personal information, HR information, signature forms, sales reports, financial information. And here we get to the customer information. It says potentially compromised. Approximately 350,000 items. Japan, customer service, video game support, help desk information with names, address, phone numbers, and email addresses. North America, names, birth dates, and email addresses. North America esports operation, website members, names, email, address, gender information as well. List of shareholders, which includes their names, addresses, shareholder numbers, and amount of shareholdings. Former employees, including family information, applicants' information, names, birth dates, addresses, phone numbers, email addresses, photos. Like, what are they having? Company picnics? Personal information. Another 14,000 people in HR. Confidential corporate information. Sales data, business partner information, sales documents, development documents, etc., etc. But the good news is, none of the at-risk data contains credit card information.
Dang.
Sounds like blackmail information.
That's a lot of information that was compromised, and whether it was actually Capcom's fault or not, I mean, it's hard to say because it could be anything from a rogue employee to opening the wrong kind of email to somebody who goes out on, bypasses the internet, goes on the internet.
Blackmailer.
Yeah, it could be like any way that they got compromised. But they do have toll-free numbers set up for Japan if you have questions. For North America, they want you to use the customer support page at capcom.com support. So don't call them.
Do you have to put your personal information in their support page?
Yes.
You probably do.
Oh, that sucks.
Just sign in with your security password. You'll be good.
Just put in your social security number, your birth date, and your mom's maiden name. Everything will be
Damn,
fine.
just give them your wallet.
No, for real.
But it goes on to say, like, they've only noticed the breach early mornings of November 2nd after detecting connectivity issues in the internal network. It confirmed that it was a targeted attack using ransomware. It destroyed encrypted data on the servers. They discovered a message from a criminal organization that calls itself Ragnar Locker. And after ascertaining the ransom money was being demanded, they contacted the Osaka Prefectural Police. And then November 4th, they issued the following press release regarding the unauthorized access. Then they verified on November 12th the items of information that were stolen. So, I mean, this is
sad.
Serious
How sad
stuff.
is that? How sad is that it was randomly discovered?
Yeah.
Probably the worst part. That's probably the worst part. Like they were so good that like either the people who did it were so good, or like Capcom is just so bad at their security that they embedded this thing and nobody noticed it for like how long. That is insane.
So and the best part is, if you're American, no, you can't talk to us directly. Here, call this number.
Yeah,
they only speak Japanese. That's what I'm telling you.
BJ, I know that you're a man that traveled the world. Do you happen to know any Japanese?
Do I know some? Yes, I do, but I'm not going to speak it on the channel.
Well, VJ can get help.
Yeah,
Well,
VJ can get help.
You want me to talk about Capcom?
Yeah, let's go ahead and get your opinion on this because this is a pretty big deal.
Yeah. If indeed true, then the inquiry has to turn inwards as to how did this nightmare situation or scenario actually happen, arise, and pretty much occur, I guess. I can't remember who was speaking just now. I was replying in the chat, so I do apologize to the panel member that alluded to that. Personally, my mind doesn't really go to the commercial impact on any of the games because they're going to continue to sell. But Capcom may possibly have some sort of safety measures in place, I would assume, right? Actually, let me rephrase that. I believe if they were a prudent company, given the size of corporation that they are, Capcom should have in place countermeasures, if not at least insurance to deal with such scenarios, because they're not the only ones that have been affected by this, and I'm sure other industries have as well. But the key question for me is what information is legally protected in terms of other publishers, developers gathering knowledge and how and possibly enhancing their own company and their own intel and what they've learned, from this information leak. It's appalling news nonetheless, right? It really shouldn't be happening this day and age. And I know people say, Capcom should have done this, should have done that. That's all hindsight, but you got to look at the people. What was it? What did you call it? The Clownz organization, the Clownz criminal organization or something you called it, right? So that was just a joke, Clownz. Don't fall off the
No. I know that was British humor. I got it.
Brother. What are you doing? Yeah.
Lupa here. I'm hoping she'd help me out a bit more.
She's like, I don't joke.
But
I was just waiting for everybody else to get it.
You would have been waiting a while.
You got to also kind of compare this to, was it Ubisoft's recent breach at the end of October? Mm-hmm. If indeed that was all true, maybe even worse, right? Depending on your viewpoint and who might be the unscrupulous sort of benefactors of it all, or beneficent of it. So in Ubisoft's case, this will definitely, if it was actually source code, I think it was for Watch Dogs or something, this will, if it's true, this will grant some view into proprietary engine tech used in not just the Watch Dogs, perhaps it may even allude to tech used in all of their games, right? And that they develop as well. So
all their games are pretty much the same. So I can see it going across the spectrum on that one.
Yeah, well, I don't know, to be honest. I'm just sort of making some perplexing points for people to go away and think about it themselves. I don't know everything. I don't know all the answers, but I'm just kind of like extrapolating out this topic, which is really difficult at the moment, to be quite honest with you. The source code, though, from my recollection and from my practices, should have the legal protections possible to sort of block and direct commercial exploitation. I think is what you were just alluding to, Xbot. Do you prefer Xbot or 448? I don't know. So just please correct me.
Xbot, dude. Like that's
it's Mr. 448 to you.
Okay,
goodness.
Mr. 448. Yeah. So
Mr. Neutral.
So possible to sort of, Ubisoft should be able to sort of block direct commercial exploitation, but that doesn't eliminate all the risk, right? There are workarounds, right? If you find something interesting, and I've known a few unscrupulous developers who use lines of code, which is proprietary tech, and got away with it. Anyway, that's a separate issue, and I don't want to get sued for slander. As Removable Sanity would say, who's my podcasting panel member on a Wednesday night, which is tomorrow, actually. I'm sorry, I know I sound a bit dazed, but since I got my Xbox on Friday morning, I've downloaded about 27 different games from Game Pass, and I've been like jumping in and out of all of them. I've gone mad. Anyway, what he says is that you have to be very careful to protect yourself these days, more so than ever before. I think that goes for corporations and even us as personally as individuals, protecting our identities and private information and protecting our families. So that's all I've got to say. So thank you very much.
Thanks, VJ. I mean that's fair input. Yeah, I know that you mentioned that
because I've spoken on 2 topics now, and I've got 0 stars so far.
No, you're heading up. You're up to 25 stars, VJ.
I mean, the beginning of his little rant there, it almost sounded like he was about to say it was an inside job. So I don't know.
Well, if it was the Clownz criminal organization, every one of us would be going on a vacation somewhere. But it's unfortunately and good thing to the ethics and moral values that it is not the Clownz organization. But
There's that dang blue hedgehog one again.
yeah. But I mean, also, Lupa, I want to get your opinion on this as well. And also to the chat, to anybody that answers this question on their opinions on this, do you also think to the fact that Microsoft was possibly or rumored to consider to have wanting to buy them, and would this affect their decision going forward? Lupa? Yeah.
I think that if Microsoft did buy them, they'd shut that down straight away, and it'd be no problem because they'd put their staff on it and have it all under control. But as far as it might deter them, I don't think so. I think that if they're determined to buy it, they will.
That's a great point. Yeah, that's a great point. Like at the end of the day, this hack has nothing to do with them per se. Mm-hmm. So, and anybody who was basically running the ship when all this was going on, those are the ones that are responsible. But let's be real here. Like, ever since Xbox, Microsoft, they got into acquiring studios. Haven't we all noticed? Microsoft and Xbox's name has been like cited with every single publisher or developer or something. Xbox should acquire them. Xbox should acquire them. Xbox should acquire them. At the end of the day, like, you don't want Xbox acquiring every single studio, every single publisher either. Let's be real. That's a monopoly, and you don't want that. Okay. When it comes down to it, Capcom, I know they're beloved, especially to like the old school hardcore, like old school gamers and stuff. I would actually want them to really get in on Sega. I think Sega is primed right now, and I really think there is something going on in the background when it comes to Sega and Xbox. But just like what was going on with Bethesda, that whole deal with ZeniMax was years in the making. I think they started in like 2018. So it was years in the making, going back and forth, negotiating stuff like that. I really feel that Xbox is negotiating with Sega, and if they do that, all the properties, all the iconic characters and stuff that Sega has to offer, if I were running Xbox, I would be full charge trying to acquire Sega. I feel like they are primed, they are right. I feel like they can be acquired, and they can be acquired by a Western company like Microsoft. That's where I would go. I know a lot of people love Capcom and stuff like that. I think Sega would be a better acquisition, and I think it's a more flexible, more feasible.
No, we don't want that blue hedgehog. No.
You don't like Sonic?
Yakuza. We want Yakuza.
You don't like Sonic?
Yakuza.
No. I gotta be with Assassin Lupa here. I think Sonic's starting to become a little overused.
Oh.
Well, it would be one dream game for me could come out of this if they got Sega. Sega owns
Golden Axe.
Sega owns Alpha Protocol. That was Obsidian's creation. So a big budget Alpha Protocol 2 or Alpha Protocol remake, like it should have been done in the first place. And for those of you who don't remember that game as like a spy RPG, that would be a dream scenario for me. That would be awesome.
Aw. Let his dream come true, people.
Sega!
I'm not saying that because I absolutely love Sonic the Hedgehog. I mean, not at all.
Sega would
did somebody just throw up in their mouth a little?
Just slightly.
Yeah.
You guys are forgetting one of the best fighting games of all time that Sega owns and created.
Virtua Fighter.
Well, that one too. Fighting Vipers is another one.
Oh, yes.
And Eternal Champions.
A lot of RPGs over there too.
Haven't you guys noticed to learn to gauge Clownz and like the pitch of his voice when he goes up about saying, He's like, yo, you guys got to remember. Like, he's being sarcastic, and he's going to
No!
say something.
I'm being
We
serious.
get the American thing also.
Serious. Serious. I'm being serious over here.
Being serious, guys.
Serious. We do not need in the Microsoft ecosystem that damn blue hedgehog.
We'll change his color to green because he's going to be on Xbox, okay?
He'll become the Game Pass mascot.
Then he'll become Sonic the Hemphog
No.
if he
I think
changes
so.
the
And then-
name.
Hemphog. Oh, wow.
And then Jim Carrey can do cameos.
Yes.
Wow, he said the Hemphog. I'm still on Hemphog. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Yeah, well, that's you ever grow? Well, you probably never went to the Jersey Shore when you were younger, or if you did, you don't remember. But there used to be a T-shirt store, and they would print their own screen prints, probably of copyrighted violated stuff back then. And then there was one that I never forgot. It was Sonic the Hemphog, because I was really upset that they ruined Sonic the Hedgehog because it looked like a bad version, like it was deformed, like it was just completely not looking like him. But they try to use the hedgehogness of him. It was a really off character.
It's bad anyway. They couldn't have made it any worse.
What?
Ooh,
Man, Lupa
wow.
is shooting shots at Sonic.
Savage.
Alex the Kid was a far better game.
What was that?
Alex the Kid.
Yeah, I have to
Mega
do a
Drive.
concur. I'll have
Yeah.
to concur with Lupa. That was a brilliant game, and so was Wonder Boy. Wonder Boy was better than Sonic.
Yeah,
Altered Beast.
That was good.
that was
Loved
good.
it. Kid Chameleon. Loved it.
Well, there you go. See, Sonic's just been buried.
Actually, there was a really
Not at all.
underrated Clownz. There was a really underrated game on the Mega Drive. I don't know if anyone recalls it. The Story of Thor.
Yes,
Nope.
I do.
A brilliant game.
Mhm.
So underrated. Anyway.
Very underrated, but very interesting. Really good fun.
Oh,
Inf-
Assassin maybe as old as me.
Mm.
Infinite
You
has a
don't know.
question.
You keep saying you're the oldest on the panel. I don't think you
Yeah,
are.
how old
sir.
are you, VJ?
Trust me, I'm old enough. I watch
He's
I watch
26.
reruns of what do you call it? David Jason and what's that?
Del Boy.
Not Del Boy. Open All Hours
Oh,
with-
oh yeah, I love that.
with the two Ronnies.
Amazing. Who wouldn't watch
That just
that?
proves you have
rerun?
an old soul. That doesn't mean you're old.
Yeah,
Yeah, I watched I Love Lucy when I was a kid.
Yeah.
That was
I was a
from
Three
the
Stooges
50s.
guy.
Yeah, that too.
That was
Oh,
awesome.
I was a young
Larry,
one.
Curly, and Moe.
You are one of the
Heck
three.
yeah.
And I
The
watched
best episode is
reruns
Curly shaving the ice.
of Mr. Ed, R54, Where Are You? I used to watch reruns of all that stuff. The Monsters.
Hey,
Electrics over
No,
here.
not reruns. the initial launch episodes.
Yeah, me too.
Hey, Xbot, did you ever hear Robin
you
Williams
older than
joke about
50,
Bill
VJ?
Gates?
I'm sorry.
No.
Are you older than 50?
A lady never tells.
Okay, girlfriend.
It'll all come. We'll all find out when we get the Capcom information that VJ submitted.
Yeah, yeah.
When they send me the stuff I asked them to steal, I'll know.
Yeah.
Open All Hours. Look at Stubbs Gaming giving a shout out to Open All Hours in the chat.
Yeah, it was brilliant. I
I gotta
love
check
it.
on dinner, guys. I'll be right back.
Do you all
Okay.
remember the young ones?
Yep.
I love that program and Faulty Towers.
Oh my
you can't
goodness.
beat the old comedy shows in Britain.
I think you and VJ are going to have some watch parties soon, Lupa.
For Queen and Country.
Live. That should be the content that Xbox should be buying up for live. All the UK Brit soaps and
Yeah.
all the decent.
BBC.
Obviously-
Now you can't even find a good comedy, can you? Unless you go back and watch
No, it's the BBC.
Yeah.
They're more politically correct and they're run by the government, basically.
bloody nanny states. Now we got.
Yep.
Yeah, they're really going to be going after that 50 and over crowd.
Well,
See, now we got the chat lively, all about the old comedy. They love it.
oh
taking
yeah.
offense.
What is that?
He's
That popular show over there in the UK that became popular here? Doctor Who, right? Isn't that what it is? Doctor Who.
Yeah.
Oh, Doctor Who, yeah. My husband never misses it. You'd think he was about 12.
My daughter got me into it. She was watching. She likes the older episodes, and she was watching it one day, and she put on a marathon, and then got me sucked into it. And I gotta say this, that like some of the older episodes, the special effects were so bad that it just you loved it for some reason. Like you just love it.
Are you
Just
talking
do.
about? Are you talking about the sort of John Petrie and that sort of era under Ted Baker
Yeah.
or Tom Baker? Sorry, or are you talking about the who was that actor that kickstarted the resurgence? Lupa. Christopher
David.
Eccleston.
Huh?
Eccleston.
Yeah.
Christopher
Eccleston.
Yeah.
Christopher Eccleston. Yeah.
Yeah. Which generation are you talking about, Clownz, or referring to? Should I say?
Probably somewhere like in the late 70s, early 80s.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Hmm.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, we're talking earlier than you're talking about Tom Baker era.
Yeah, my daughter likes the Doctor Who that she actually likes was like one of the newer ones, and then he, I guess, died, and she's really upset about that, so she stopped watching it.
No, they don't die. They
Well,
don't die.
they
They
yeah,
regenerate.
it's a someone else, and she's
Yeah.
not happy. She's not happy about it.
David, the Scottish guy, VJ,
David Tennant.
David
Tennant.
Indie Gamer
yeah.
says David Tennant.
Tennant, that's it.
He's
Yeah.
actually
It's
is he-
probably him because he was a looker.
I think
He's the look of that one.
UK Dazzler says Lord of the Word Master System Sword. Maybe that's some Doctor Who talk. Maybe he's like speaking in tongues. I don't understand you, Daz. I don't understand you.
Yeah.
No, he likes Yazoo now. Oh wow, Daz. Jeez, man. Oh, Daz is something else, man. I tell you.
Good one, Daz.
British humor. He's got that British humor.
Yep.
Well, there's
Poker in front, liquor in the rear.
Well, there's
Poker in front, liquor in the rear. Anybody get that? Come on.
What?
Nobody got that?
No,
I didn't hear a laugh from anybody.
No, I couldn't hear. What? 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 Couldn't hear. So I'll go ahead and move to the next topic. I was hoping Xbot would be back, but he's probably doing something important over there.
What are we talking about?
Like practicing golf
Where
with
are we
friends.
going?
The
What's
next
Probably
happening
making
topic.
some tinfoil glasses.
Yeah, the last topic. The next topic is the last topic. It's, all over Twitter. Alanah Pearce, right? She joined Sony's Santa Monica Studios as a writer. She did leave her position at, I believe, Rooster Teeth, and I wonder how all this is going to work out because wasn't she on Greg's show, kind of funny videos, the XCast version or whatever? Like, I wonder how all it's going to work out now that she's working for Sony. Did she leave that too?
Yeah, that was her last episode that she did recently with him.
Yeah, so the whole show is probably over now after that. Yeah, I don't know. Like, now she's probably not going to be able to talk highly of Xbox. It's probably against her job rules or NDA and all that stuff. So I'm kind of curious to see what kind of happens because she was very positive about Xbox, especially Game Pass. I hope they really don't hammer down their employees about their personal opinions. You guys think that her personality is going to change publicly because of this?
She's probably not going to be allowed to do that much because I would imagine they would have things where she can't have like a certain amount of media exposure without getting approvals and stuff like that. So opinion-based stuff out there might potentially we see less. I don't know how that works, but I don't see a lot of video game writers and industry people that work for developers putting a lot of content out there like that, so I would imagine that would kind of disappear a little bit.
Yeah, I think so too. I think she's going to be under a strict diet of Sony Santa Monica publicity, and because she was, like you said, she was pretty 50-50 on everything, but I don't see her having any type of like true, but that you're not going to see any of her, I guess you could say, thoughts and opinions on anything Microsoft, or at least. And I hate to say good ones. I think she's got a lot more integrity than most out there. So, I mean, it's only time will tell.
Don't worry, guys. I am purchasing my silver blonde wig as we speak here, and I will be
Jealous
Alana
is a
Pearce,
terrible looking thing.
version 2.0. Okay.
Remember, you gotta shave that chin strap.
You know what I'll do? I'll just makeup it. That's what I'll do. I don't want to lose this thing. I've had it since I was like 17.
That's how I was with my goatee. Now it's a full-on beard, but still, it's from when I was 18.
But shout out to Alana. I don't know why. Like, first off, I don't know what she's going to be doing, and I was
A writer.
A
writer.
writer, like
He's a
a writer
writer.
for video games.
Yep.
Like, oh, okay. Because she's been known throughout the industry as somebody who talks about video games, does reviews and stuff like that. So now she is basically out of that public domain. You know what I'm
Media.
saying?
Yeah.
Now she is a part of a studio where she's going to be writing, storylines and stuff like that for the game. So, first off, I want to say congratulations to her on landing the job. I wonder if, when she first started doing this, if she thought that this would be an avenue to get to a job like that, a job that she might have wanted. You know what I'm saying? So she got into, doing game reviews, stuff like that. Maybe this was her end goal all along, but from what I've seen throughout her career, she's never really been at one place very long. You know what I'm saying? I've seen her move around, at least within recent history. She's moved around quite a bit. And
Why do you think that is? Do you feel it's like creative differences? Do you feel from what her content is to what she's been before? I personally haven't followed her that much, so I'm just kind of curious as to like what her, I guess you could say, what her motives are compared to the places that she's been working at, and if so, if having this job is going to constrict her in any way, how do you think that will impact her job there and her wanting to be there?
In terms of her moving around, I don't really know, because she was a part of Funhouse in Inside Gaming, and I really like those YouTube channels when it comes down to it. I like what Funhouse does in terms of entertainment and stuff, and I thought that was a job that she was going to be at for a while. But again, you got to think about what her end game goal was. Like what was her goals to begin with? Like, that's something I don't think, even on her channel, she never really expressed like what her end game was. But
Could leave the prominent thing that she has created, for herself in the public, as a public figure and everything. I would think this would have to be kind of a dream job, right? So that, because you talk about her YouTube channel has how many views, right? That's herself also, you know what I mean? So she's has prominence out there that she's created in the industry, and to leave that aside, move into something else where it's at least limiting that, means you have to have a passion for what you're moving to, I would think, right? So that, I would just say, whoever does something that they are trying to strive to, but that you made a goal to achieve, that's a good thing,
You've got to give her props for what she's doing, changing so drastically.
I think when it comes down to it, just real quick, I think when it comes down to it, the job at Sony Santa Monica, writing stories for games and stuff like that, YouTube, even gaming news, is a very fickle beast. I feel that where she's going to now, she has stability there, because she's not under contract as a temp or anything like that. She's basically, she got into the game development industry from on the outside, doing reviews and stuff like that. She literally worked her way into the industry to where now she's working with one of the biggest developers, one of the most popular developers, and writing stories for games for that. And yes, that does sound like a dream job. And again, it's stability. You're not depending on clicks and views and stuff, because when she was with the big gaming news and stuff, that's what they were depending on as well. Even Funhouse, it was more on the entertainment side, but it was all depending on clicks and views and being fresh and being out there when it comes to putting your personality out there and creating content and all that good stuff. Now she is going to have a stable income that won't fluctuate either way depending on what the trend is. I think she has a more stable career. I think she'll be a lot happier with that as well. She's not going to have to stress out too much, and she's still in the gaming industry. So again, I got to agree. I think it was a dream job, and I when she got it, shout out to her for working her ass off, going from outside of the industry and working her way into the industry to become what she is now at Sony Santa Monica. That's an awesome feat when you think about it. That is a lot of hard work, a lot of dedication, and a lot of strategy, man. There had to be a lot of strategy involved to get from where she was in the beginning to where she is now. Shout out to her for that.
Do you think Sony Santa Monica will let her keep being in YouTube?
Nope. No, not at all. Not at all. You saw like Druckmann and kind of you've seen some of the rumors of how like Neil Druckmann is and all that good stuff. Like there's no way. There is no way she's going to be out in the public like that anymore. And I you know what? If you followed her YouTube channel, she has dealt with an emotional roller coaster. She has taken many different breaks from like social media, from creating content. She seemed burnt out in that area. All right. And so now to get a more kind of like, again, a more stable job / career that's inside the industry that she used to work on, kind of like being the magnifying glass on, you know what I'm saying? Being outside and looking at the game, looking at the games and reviewing them, hearing about certain things when it came to like how developers were being treated by publishers and doing the gaming news, being on the outside with the magnifying glass on the industry, to now working inside the industry with one of the most renowned developers of our age. I think she's happy for that, man. And because she was definitely getting burnt out creating content and being out there social media wise and all that good stuff.
Yeah, I gotta say this. I think that whatever. Wait, who said that? Was somebody talk?
Yeah.
Huh?
Sorry, Clownz. Go ahead. If you, I can go after you. Absolutely, no worries.
Oh, okay. No, I'm sorry. I was just gonna say that I think it's great for her to move on to something that she wants to do. And I know the internet's the internet, and there's always toxicity on the internet, and some people were trying to downplay her for her success and moving on to Sony Santa Monica. There was one tweet in particular that was kind of shameful that called her out, saying that not everybody is as privileged as her, or they can't socialize like she could. Other people had to go to regular jobs instead of socializing with people in the industry, and it's about who you know that moves you up the ladder and whatever. But whatever the case, here's the facts, man. Alana Pearce always worked hard at her YouTube stuff. She's always worked hard at what she's done. She got herself out there. She got herself known. She did work hard at it. It's not easy.
She busted her ass at Funhouse. Like
Absolutely.
She got into Funhouse when the people responsible for Funhouse decided they were leaving, like Lawrence and like the main people one by one started moving out of there, and she was responsible for maintaining the content and entertainment. She was creating the new types of content that was coming from Funhouse. Now, and not only that, you got to think, even though she started getting into kind of like game reviews and into the gaming news, back in Australia, she moved to a completely new country without any kind of safety net and stuff like that. And a lot of people do that. A lot of people immigrate into, United States, into, I think England as well. There are certain countries that, people will move to and try to make something for themselves there, either career wise or something like that. And she also did that as well. Like, nobody's perfect. And, I'm pretty sure there was some benefits out there, and there was some breaks that did work in her favor. But to say that she didn't work hard and she didn't bust her ass to get to where she is now is asinine. Absolutely asinine. Like, I know this from her being a part of YouTube channels that I watch, that I am entertained by, and I know that she busted her ass at, for Funhouse and Inside Gaming, getting Inside Gaming back on track to where they wanted to be as well. So I mean, that is crazy to think that she didn't work.
Absolutely. VJ, I know that you were going to say something.
Yeah, I'm not sure it's very informative or not. Look, I'm not on many gaming podcasts, Clownz, as you know, but on 75% of them at least, I've asked if we could add more female energy or presenters or panel members to the shows. It's one of the reasons why I joined Four Guys with Quarters in the first place, if you recall, Clownz. So in this instance, I concur with Miss Lupa. More females need to be involved in and around the gaming industry, which podcasts definitely and shows definitely form a part of. I actually don't know anything about Alana Pearce. I don't follow her. At the same time, the recruitment team at Sony are no mugs in the fact that they are smart and intelligent people who would have done their due diligence, right, so to speak. However, they're still fallible, like we all are. Sony, in terms of remuneration, don't pay the highest amounts. Google's and Microsoft pay a lot more, in my experience. It's over there, it's more of a eat what we kill mentality. I don't know if you're familiar with that. However, if she can help contribute to whatever Corey and Yumi and the team over at Santa Monica are working on, which is rumored to be more than one project, then I'm all for it. However, the proof will be in the pudding, right? Since one person very rarely makes a difference to a project, but can be integral to it at the same time, unless it's someone, the caliber of Corey or Ken Levine or Miyamoto, Yu Suzuki back in the day, Danny Dokes, Martin Hollis, or Hideo, whose personality I will suffer. Not a nice man, especially someone in essence heralding from a Japanese disposition and culture, and I'll do so in order just to enjoy his games. Anyway, I'm digressing. I mentioned game directors or leads. There are vast amounts of sort of, how can I put it, unknown and unsung heroes in the industry, and a sea of what I would call, from my experience, low rent intelligence, unprincipled or untrustworthy individuals up and down the food chain. I can't share any more confidence about the situation without more information about Alana herself. However, I wish her all that she deserves, so to speak. And I think Mav said, something along, and correct me if I'm wrong, Mav, I think you said something wrong, it's a dream job. And it can be, right? And it absolutely can be. From my experiences, walking into a studio and working with other creators can make or break you. It's a tough industry. And I think from little that I've been hearing, she's got that kind of appetite and desire. And those are key things, right? As well as, and being able to do the hard work. And that's besides having the talent, right? At the same time, as I said, even though it's a tough place, at the same time, it is a wonderful and energizing feeling of ecstasy, right? And would she have spoken with Xbox? I think, yes, she would have. It seemed to be that way, at least in my interpretation.
She was a voice of a character in Gears 5.
I don't know that. I'm just going by my interpretation.
I'm letting you know.
Yep. And it's sorry, just for a second. Let me just. Okay, yeah. So it seemed that way, especially in the way that Aaron sort of worded his tweet to her just after it was announced, and I think my interpretation is that she definitely would have spoken to them. I think she would have been naive, and I'd be underestimating her if she hadn't, and I'd be surprised actually, quite frankly. But again, just my opinion, and it's just supposition here. The difference between Sony and Xbox, again, just in my experience, is just one isolated thing. So I'm not saying it's gospel or anything, so don't mean me or anything. The difference between Sony and Xbox in all my time, and Nintendo, is that Sony and Nintendo, from a creator's perspective, allow you to play gracefully with ideas if you can kind of harness what I'm trying, and the energy I'm trying to portray with that. And for Microsoft, it's not that they don't have creativity, but for their teams, it's more of an earnest endeavor. I can't think of any other words to really prescribe it, especially when it comes to the creative process. So that's all I have to say. So thank you.
Yo, DJ, just real quick, and I appreciate you for saying the name Corey, because I went off like on the Neil Druckmann side, which is Naughty Dog, and I gotta correct myself on that, because Sony Santa Monica, I still believe that she won't really do her own kind of like YouTube thing, and if she does, it might veer away from games a little bit and just get more maybe personal life if she still wants to do that. I think that would be from a mental health perspective. As I was saying, the games industry is very tough. She has a huge following. As I said, I don't know her, and I don't watch her show, and I don't follow her on Twitter, so I'm only hearing from what you're saying. But as I was saying, that the games industry, especially during crunch, which is a completely separate issue, so don't infer anything by me saying that. But just in general, even without crunch, it is a very tough and intense workplace. So I think that you may have a point there, that if she can change rather than dropping her channel and everything, but just modify it, maybe reviewing games, or like you said, maybe there's other things in her life that she wants to pursue. I mean, who knew that she wanted to pursue a career in writing for video games?
Yeah, and VJ, I'm sorry. I probably have to. Yeah, no, it's not your fault. I probably have to cut you off because Assassin Lupa has an obligation to Retro Renegades, and I see that we're getting close to the time.
Sorry.
That's okay. So Lupa, I'm sorry that we're running close to that time. So if you want to go ahead and do your outro, so you can be in time for them.
Okay, thanks, Clownz. Thanks everybody for being here. Thanks to the chat. It's been great. You can catch me on Twitter at Assassin Lupa, or in Party Live on Xbox. I'll game with anyone, anytime.
Nice. You gotta play PGA Tour 2K21 with me.
Golf with your friends.
Let's do it.
Well, I don't know. That's a big download to take up some of my hard drive.
That is. She's not lying.
Probably got more important things to be playing, to be honest. Sorry.
All right. How about Master Chief Collection Halo 4 multiplayer?
Golf with your friends.
That's what I'm playing later.
All right. Hopefully.
Come join us over with Fun Speculation, Mav.
I think me and Fun are friends on Xbox Live. I think so. If not, Lupa, add me on Xbox Live. It was a lot of fun talking games with you, and hopefully, it's the beginning of talking a lot of games with you for a long time.
Yeah, hopefully.
Okay, Lupa.
I would love to. Thanks very much, everybody. It's been really great.
All right, see you later.
Bye.
Thanks, chat. You're amazing. Bye-bye.
Guys.
Yes.
I didn't do it.
I finally beat the end of Tetris Effect.
No.
Hold on. What difficulty?
Bro, I'm slow. It was on beginner.
So I did the same thing. I went to beginner to beat that thing.
all 90 lines, and it was like, once it got to 10, I was just like, oh no, and I'd start losing it. But this time, I held composure, and I finally beat it.
At the end, did it say database rebuild complete?
Oh wow!
Nice.
No, it was nice and pretty lights.
Brother, you did the journey, right? The journey that
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I had to go to beginner. I tried on normal, and I only got like two whole kind of like sections, and that was it. And I was stuck, man. That is crazy.
Yeah, with me on games, I always start at like normal or like the middle, So like when I first got this, loaded it up, and I was just like the first I was like, no, I gotta get my brain right for this. I can't do that. So I had to start back at the beginning. So now I'll try the normal next time. But oh my gosh, that ending, man. Oh, thank God. I almost cried. I'm not gonna lie.
Dude, some of the levels before that where they started you off quick and then slowed down after and then sped up again. I'm like, yo, come on,
Not
guys.
only that, but they leave you with what you left the last time. So like you could have like half a panel and you're up at like level 9. You're like, oh my gosh.
Um,
Game of the year, by the way. Game of the year.
Yeah, no, sorry, it's not. No.
Hey, did y'all notice that the rumble is extremely strong in that game
Yes.
on the controller?
Yeah.
It's insane.
Yeah,
I love it when it goes with the beat. I love it.
Yeah, man.
That's our haptic feedback. Sorry.
No, that's all right. Well, before we go on and do outros, did anybody have any other comments about Alana Pearce?
Good
I
luck.
did have another 10 minutes or so, but I think I might probably just keep that to myself.
What?
No, don't do it.
No, I'm good.
Are you sure?
Should we take a star away?
I want to spare Mav.
No, I'm just kidding. Go.
One thing I really want to say, unfortunately, within the community, within social media, console wars rear their ugly head. All right.
Yeah.
Not everything is a competition between Sony and Xbox. When somebody busts their ass and gets to a place, like when it comes to getting into the gaming industry, even developers have a hard time getting into the gaming industry. They usually start off on contracts where, they're not even a part of the studio. They come in on contracted work to do certain things, and then they are let go afterwards. All right. It is really hard to get into this industry. So to see somebody, like I said, come from the outside and work her way into the industry like that, I feel, instead of going the console war route and be like, oh man, now she's just going to praise PlayStation and stuff like that. She already did like little things when it came to Gears, like I said to VJ and stuff like that. She's been across the spectrum, and now she has a more stable career path within the gaming industry that's already really hard to get into. People, instead of bringing it to console wars, use it as a kind of like inspiration. If that's something you want to do, if you want to write stories for games and stuff, there is somebody that you see right there in Alanah Pearce who went from the outside and worked her way in. I would look at it more as inspiration, like something like that can be done. And if that's something you want to do, look at that. It can be accomplished as long as you work hard and you do you keep at it, man. You don't give up. I think it's really commendable to see where she came from and where she is now.
Yep. Concur.
Yeah, I gotta say, I agree with you. And with that being said, it is time for Retro Renegades, and we're kind of going over their time a little bit. So
I have no idea what.
Okay, we have topics. They don't have topics. Okay, we have topics here.
Yeah, I don't know anything about Renegades.
We also have tea and crumpets and biscuits.
Whose channel is it on?
That with me.
It's
Super. I think.
It's random. It's usually.
I think it's not right now.
You're tuning into a random channel, okay, with no topics. Okay, cool.
It's just like shooting the crap, It's just.
That's what we were doing here. Sorry.
I don't find that insulting at all.
Is that British humor? Is that British humor?
No, honestly, I've every time you mention Retro Renegades, I do mean to sort of find out what are they talking about, but no one ever sends a link, and I don't actually find any tweets in my notifications on Twitter to click on it. So maybe I'm just missing it, but I'll have to tune in one of these days to understand what it's all about.
It's an interesting show. There's usually just no topics and just whatever comes up.
I've been a guest and I still don't know what that show is about. Yo, shout out to Graphic Guy. I'm just saying.
Yeah. So
they just play old games. Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, it's okay.
No, I'm kind of
a little.
Who wants to play? Yeah. Who wants to play old games? Come on.
Well, it's PlayStation Now subscribers. I'm just kidding.
Wow.
No, I'm just messing. PlayStation
Shots
now is a
fired.
good value. It's a good value for what you get.
Shots fired.
Stubbs says VJ go on Retro Renegades. I concur, VJ. Go on Retro Renegades.
Probably
I don't know if he'd know what
I've
to
got
do
to
with
find it first.
himself.
I need an A to Z.
I don't know if he'd know what to do with himself.
I have an idea for Retro Renegades. I'm just putting it out there. So if you're listening, Graphic God or Flamish or any of these guys, just let VJ talk the entire time, and I want to hear where it goes. Just
I don't know.
just let him run. Just let him go. You know.
Free
only in the
bird.
middle of the show he starts singing, like in the dead middle of the show, like kind of like an intermission or halftime. He's got to do a musical number, and then I would be so down for that. I think that's Retro Renegade. I think that's a Retro Renegade feel right there.
Oh my goodness. I feel like I'm entering into the pit of despair. But yeah.
Hold on, that sounds like a Destiny 2 level.
Doesn't it?
The Pit of Despair raid coming next year.
Yes. Or
Well-
maybe that's what you can call Eververse as well, the Pit of Despair.
Well, so VJ could go check it out. I'll let everybody do their outros, but first, the one, the only, the amazing reptilian Battletoad friend who said Battletoads was going to be great, and he was right. It's
I was right.
Xbot 48. Can you tell everybody where they can find you?
All right, brother. Well, first off, the Battletoads, they're amphibian. They're not reptilian. All right, and I felt the need to correct you on that, brother.
Damn.
You should
The
know better.
insult.
You are in Florida, and there are huge alligators just walking around random residential areas, and those are reptilian. But yo, Clownz, dude. First off, thank you for the invite, man. I had a blast hanging out here with the panel. You guys are absolutely incredible, and I see nothing but good things for Four Guys kind of like moving into the future. It's a lot of fun. Clownz, I am gonna steal some of your panel as well. Yes, on next podcast, if they would do that, that would be awesome. I am looking at Midway. I am looking at Fun. I am looking at VJ as well. I think VJ, it will be interesting to have him with the next podcast panel, thinking about like Predator, Crispy, K Mega, and having VJ kind of chime in with that crew. That would be insane.
You can hang.
I can
But
see
yeah,
K Mega
no.
just being like, "What?"
Yeah, K Mega, like VJ would start, with some of his words, and K Mega just chime in, dude, just be country, man. Just be country, all right? Come on, man. But no, you guys, you are an awesome panel. I tune in as much as I can. You guys are usually on a little bit early. I'm usually cooking dinner when I do tune in. I do say you guys got to promote more. You got to get the word out there more. Everybody on the panel, just share it out and tag people, because I feel like this is a hugely underrated podcast, and I think more people need to tune in. So with that being said, chat, guys, hit the thumbs up button, share this out there, let people know, because if it wasn't for Four Guys, and this is something I know I've said before, but I'm going to say it again. If it wasn't for Four Guys, there would be no next podcast, because if it wasn't for Clownz and the panel from Four Guys helping me out in terms of trying to do something a little bit different in the community and putting gameplay into the podcast, if it wasn't for Four Guys' help, like none of that would have happened. So, these guys, not only is this show awesome, but the panel, like, and Clownz, you guys reach out and you help the community out. You help people out that are trying to, establish themselves in the community and on YouTube. I think that's something that needs to be done more, and I applaud you guys for doing that. But other than that, check me out on YouTube, Xbot448, on Twitter, Xbot448. I do a couple of podcasts. Series X podcast is going live tomorrow, 5 p.m., a different date because I was having internet issues on Sunday, and I worked my ass off. I was really tired as well. And then Thursday is next podcast. And shout out to our first ever special guest this Thursday, 7 p.m. Stubbs Gaming will be on. next
Nice.
podcast. So you guys got to tune in. It is going to be a blast, and we are tackling some hard topics, guys. Guys, one of the topics, I'll let you in on a sneak peek on the panel. One of the topics is, should Xbox gamers really be celebrating native 4K? Does native 4K really mean that much when it comes to gaming? So tune in on Thursday when
No.
you'll hear the panel and our special guest. And I think it's going to be a heated discussion, guys. I really do.
That's awesome, man. Well, if I'm around, I'll definitely be tuning into that for sure. Stubbs is a good dude.
If you're around,
He's got to check his schedule.
No.
you should
Sometimes
see how I'm looking at my computer monitor right now. I'm like, really? I see how it is, Clownz. I see.
That's sad.
no
Pencil it in, guys.
No, don't be
Clowns,
sad.
you got to make it better.
Yeah, it's all good. It's gonna be a fire show, even if Clownz doesn't tune in for it. I'm just saying.
What about VJ?
I'm
What
sorry?
about?
Is he gonna? Maybe VJ will tune in and VJ join you too.
Okay, I the more the merrier, man. Everybody needs to tune in. Come on. I do claim that it is the best looking podcast in the community. I'm saying that to somebody who creates this gorgeous podcast right here. But I gotta say, man, I'm a little partial to the graphics and everything on my channel. You know that, Clowns. I claim that a lot, man.
Well, I will say this: like, you do Blender very well, and I remember when you started messing around with Blender and how it changed the next podcast, and it really definitely stood out. And I like how you have objects like kind of going through the luminescent words that you have, and it looks really cool and really well done, really professional. I got to give you that credit, Xbot. I think it's fantastic, man.
Oh, dude, Clowns, the check's in the mail. You have accomplished the goal. I'm letting you know that right now. Yeah.
I only charge a quarter. That's it. Just one quarter.
He's cheap, people.
The other 3 go to the panel, and they split it.
It was at 7 point, how many cents each?
Oh my goodness.
7.23, I think, or something.
Oh, and don't forget, you guys. After you guys get your split, you got to chip in and get Flamish a piece of candy.
Oh my.
His Snoop
It's
Kiss.
just one
Snoop Kiss.
candy, and he's happy.
Yes. Well,
But no, you guys are awesome, man. Thank you for having me on. Yeah.
Well, VJ, I will
Yes,
let you go first because I don't think you've ever gone first on your outro before. So
I thought I've just witnessed the world's longest outro via Xbot.
no. If you
don't watch
want
the
Xbox
podcast,
to go longer, he can.
No, I'm good, thank you. I think I've digested as much as I possibly can at this stage. I think what I wanted to say is it is a pleasure to be on the show, and I was a bit concerned there were so many panel members today, but I can say that it was definitely not quantity over quality and substance, shall we say. And I appreciate the warmth and generosity, and for tolerating everything that I have to say. I shouldn't really use the word tolerance, really, since that would be patronizing. But yeah, definitely some practical wisdom today in what we were talking about, and that was very, very interesting. And as I said, quantity wasn't an issue today, and it was very interesting. My first time. How many members do we have? 7. Yeah, it was fascinating, and it went very, very smoothly. So yep, that's all I've got to say. Thank you so much indeed.
Yep. Well, Mav, I know you're doing some streaming later tonight, man. I really think that you are going to be an up and coming podcast star with your Xbox podcast that you're doing with your wife. I think that's fantastic. And it's really cool to see you guys play together in the community. I think it's like a really big thing because we don't see that a lot. As male gamers, we don't see a lot of females playing in the community unless they're solo Twitch stars. So I think it's really fantastic that you and your wife do that. And go ahead and tell people where they can find you and what you're up to.
Well, she just likes to show off her Halo skills as much as possible. So, yeah, guys, come hang out with us tonight. We are playing Master Chief Collection with the new Series X update. We are also playing Mortal Kombat 11. It is going to be a blast. So, if we get enough people, we can have some amazing custom games going. So looking forward to that. We'll be on stream. The YouTube channel is Fun Speculation. Also, you can follow me on Twitter at Fun Speculation. And live Friday nights at 9 p.m. Eastern, we have the Xbox Ultimate Podcast, which is now going to be a live show with my wife is now the second official member of the podcast. And we're going to have a Fugly on there this week as a guest. And possibly one more. Assassin Lupa also actually is going to be a guest on that. So we'll have 2, maybe 3 people on. It'll be a great time. So come hang out with us then. Thank you again, guys. Appreciate it.
That's going to be awesome, man. I'm looking forward to that. I'll be tuning into that as well as Xbox's show this week. So don't worry, Xbot. I'll be there.
No, I was right on the heels of that. You're like, I'm gonna tune into that. I'm like, oh really?
Yeah, I knew that's what you were thinking. And Midway, when you're not hulking out in Chicago and being the biggest Hulk in the gym, where can people find you, man?
I'll just say Midway Monster on Twitter. DM me your Xbox Live tag if you want to be friends. I'll look you up. Yep, it's the buys and tries day, so time to get swole. Xbot, another pleasure being with you. And by the way, just to go on the quality of your YouTube channel, you're the only channel where I listen to the intro where you have to like wait 30 minutes before the show starts. You're the only.
We're usually for K-Mega, dude. That's why it's so long.
You're the only channel where I listen to it because those beats be jumping. So
that intro gets you hyped. It does for sure.
Yeah, it definitely does.
And VJ,
Yes,
I
sir.
missed you, man. I'm glad you're back.
Oh,
My
thank you.
English American brother. I love you, man.
I love you, man.
And Assassin Lupa, I know you're on another. You're welcome, sir. Assassin Lupa, you may not be able to hear me right now, but always a pleasure podcasting with you. And Fun Speculation. I am pretty fugly, so I would like to be on your podcast every once in a while.
Yeah, man.
That'd be a fun time. So
let's do it.
Yeah, I watched you do the stream of what was that? Halo 2, was it?
Yeah, Halo 2 anniversary. Yesterday. Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah, check that out, guys. Yeah, check that out, guys. If you guys want to see how they go. I see Caitlin in the chat proving that the girl gamers need to stick together. So
yeah,
awesome having her around, and she better be an official panel member. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, I didn't have a choice. No, I'm just kidding.
Wow. Oh man.
But otherwise, great podcast. Thanks, chat, for coming out. Dreadpool, I see you. Stubbs Gaming, I see you. Thanks for coming out. Have a good night.
Well, everyone, you can find me at Italian Clownz on almost all social media, 4Guys Recorders, on Tuesdays, and we're getting back to the new shows eventually with Flamish. But we do have some more interviews to do. I've been busy trying to do many interviews, setting them up. I'm going to have Jim Hydro on from Electronic Arts. He also is the inventor of the SST Switchblade, which he gave me a prototype to test out for the Series X. To help see if it loads games faster, and it definitely does. Destiny loads instantly right off that NVMe USB. It's fantastic. I'll give some impressions on that as I test out more games. I'm going to have Jimmy Palmiotti coming up. He's going to be a guest. Many in the panel already know who he is by now from me talking about him, but he's a writer for TV, film, comic books. Harley Quinn, Suicide Squad, and he's a pretty big guy. We've been Twitter friends for a couple years, and we talk back and forth. Really cool dude. So he's agreed to come on. And then I have hopefully one day, if Microsoft PR likes me, there's a possibility of somebody from there as well. So Yep, it's just gonna keep on trying. I want to get you those interviews with different people in the industry, different perspectives. Lots of cool people out there, and also there's a few more game developers coming on, a few more studio heads coming on, and there may be one or two more voice actresses that I have scheduled. I have to check my emails. I'm so sorry because I've been busy in emails lately, and that's why I'm not playing golf with your friends with Xbot. So, but we'll have that soon. I promise you guys, we'll have that soon. Maybe I'll do it to raise money for Gamers Outreach, and if I meet my goal, I will dye my beard green. So that'll be kind of cool. Yeah, that'll be kind of cool. So thank you everybody for tuning in. It's always appreciated. There were so many people in the chat today from Gamers United Guild, Indie, Stubbs, Graphic God, stop by, Dreadful, my brother from GBTB. That's another podcast you're going to find me on tomorrow night. Wednesdays, Game Beyond the Box. I'll be there. Also, Boom Show on Monday, Primetime Gaming with Mr. Boomstick and friends. And yeah, everybody in the chat, you guys were fantastic. Thanks to Stephanie for, again, for the super chat. It's always appreciated. Feel free to leave comments and always ask Flamish questions because he is forced to answer those questions. So don't worry. He likes weird questions. Anything weird you can ask him, he likes it. But again, everybody, see you guys later, and thank you for tuning in and listening to us for a little bit over 2 hours in our banter. It's always appreciated. See you guys later.
Shout out to Canada. Blame
Bye.
Canada.
Number 93 in Canada.
Woo!